Hi all, and welcome to a little experiment we're going to be calling Tag You're It, a teen-led discussion-based podcast that aims to engage youths, like us, in topics pertinent to our lives, especially while we're all apart thanks to the pandemic. Topics covered in these episodes are loosely linked to our teen subscription packs. And if you're thinking to yourself, what's a teen subscription pack? Well, my friend, you can sleep easy because I am about to tell you. These teen subscription packs are bundles of free content that we, as the Teen Advisory Group, curate for you each month surrounding a specific topic, such as self-love and mental health. And yes, folks, you can trust your ears, that's $0.00 for a book, music recommendations, fun online resources, and even adventures around our own community. Literally anything that has to do with a specific month's topic is in these subscription packs. If you're interested in signing up for future months' subscription packs, feel free to visit ypsilibrary.org/event/teen-subscription-packs/2021-06-08/. And with that, I am going to hand it off to Reem.
Hi guys, this is the Teen Advisory Group, and today we're going to be talking about the self-care kit we got in February. Aisha, did you want to start us off by just talking a bit about what you got inside of the kit?
Inside of the kit, there's a book, there was an eye mask, there was a face mask like for your skin, there was stickers, there was essential oils, there was chocolate, there was journal, there was some pens, and yeah.
I can do an unboxing right now if you want. It's next to me. Should I do that?
Yes, do it!
That's cute.
Okay. First, I got these papers. They're about finding yourself like a good book, and they give different genres of books. So we have different options if you like fiction, nonfiction, or graphic novels. And then we also have some take care of yourself tips that our teen advisory group listed, such as listening to music or meditating. And then we have the essential oil that Aisha talked about. This one is sandalwood. Have the eye mask that Aisha also talked about. I'm not sure what animal this is. Could be a raccoon, to be honest, but yeah, maybe. And then this journal, it's really nice. It's empty. I feel like with this journal, you could like organize things that you feel like a lot of things are like going on in the world right now. So I feel like if you write it all down, it could be really helpful to like let it out. Their face masks. So I was really excited seeing these. I really wanted to use them right away when I saw them, to be honest, but I realized I had other things to do. There are earplugs. So if you're like in a really loud space at the moment, you could probably use them to like find some peace, even though there are other people around you. And then I didn't have a chance to see this as much, but I think it's a QR code for the book test talked about today earlier.
Hey everyone, dropping in from post to say that we're a little new at this, so when we thought we were recording and talked about the book, we actually just weren't recording. So all that to say, the book that Amelia is referencing here is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and we encourage all of you to check it out on either of the library's apps, so Hoopla or Libby. I personally am a big fan of the audiobook because it's actually read by the author, which just adds this extra layer of depth, and it's just so easy to get lost in her voice. So once again, that's The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Back to Amelia.
There's some buttons. I really like these buttons too. And there's some chocolates too, so there's these are the chocolates. I'm trying my best. But yeah, those are like most of the things from the self-care kit that we made for February, and I really like them. I like how there was like face mask, and even the stickers are really nice. I thought they were like really fun to have. So that's the unboxing kit for the February kit.
I was like really excited because like when I opened it, there was like, really cool stuff. And like it like compared to like when you're planning it and when you actually like see it, it's like, wow, like this is so cool.
Yeah, I agree with Aisha. I was like during this week, I was like very stressed because I had a lot of schoolwork. So when I like opened the box, I was like really excited to see like all of these things I could use for myself.
Yeah, definitely. That seems like it's such a nice transition into what we want to talk about. So the stress from school. I know a few weeks ago we had finals, and I think we're gonna have finals soon as well. But like how was like your guys's tests and semesters? And everybody can answer this.
I feel like we're almost in the home stretch, but it's like so close yet so far. And I know we have a couple seniors here, so it's like a big life transition coming up. So life is really stressful right now.
I mean, like, I'm not saying that you should, like, solve all of your problems with, like, material things, but, like, sometimes it's just kind of nice to get, like, a little bag of, like, goodies or, like, some presents, especially when you're, like, really stressed out. Like, it can just kind of be, like, a nice mood booster.
I agree. It is super. I feel like I'll never be at an age where getting a little bag of goodies isn't like so exciting to me. So I think it is super important to take time, even if it's just 10 minutes to yourself to kind of like breathe and do what you can to like relieve yourself of whatever you're feeling in the moment.
I think going off of what Talia said earlier, like senior year is really trippy because like so many things are changing. And I think that it's really comforting within this to be able to go to the library, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of us haven't. And we've talked a lot in TAG about how much we miss like going to the library and sitting down on the floor and like smelling how the library smelled and like paging through all the books that are new. So I think that even though we don't get to do those things, I think when we get to go pick up our monthly subscription packs, that it's kind of like a little adventure, and we like pull up at the library and we see one of our librarians or maybe two, depending on how busy they are. But I don't know, that's kind of exciting, and also just like feels like home when home's definition in itself is just kind of in flux.
Yeah, I guess like to add on to that, like I feel really lucky, like, just to be like so close to the library. Like, we can just go and like pick up stuff. Like my little sister, she always gets like so excited. Like it's like her favorite thing to do. Like she gets so excited to just go to the library and like get books, pick up kits. And like I guess like it kind of like, brings us together, I guess, because there's like an activity that we can like do together, even with like such a big age difference, because she's only 5.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff in like the kit is like really focused on like mindfulness, like chocolate. Like you have to like taste it, or like the like essential oils, like just taking like a second to like kind of smell that, or like looking at some cool stickers. And I don't know, I think it's really important at a time when there's like a lot of stuff going on, just like in the world, but also maybe like in your house, like you're kind of just cramped up with like a lot of people and maybe it's loud. I don't know. But like I think that especially in a time when there's a lot of like chaos going on, it's really important to like kind of take a moment to like just kind of observe your surroundings or to like eat a chocolate or like smell something that smells good.
Yeah, Rama was saying in the chat as well that school is very hard, and it's very hard to also stay organized, especially when you're in a home with siblings. I think definitely just stress from school is a lot, especially personally. Just like it's a bunch of hills and bumps, and you just gotta get through it, Definitely just like going outside for a second. And from what Amelia was saying from with the unboxing and stuff, it looked like a lot of the stuff seemed really helpful. And definitely, I think it definitely improved a lot of people's lives when they just sort of got the chance to take care of themselves for a little bit and then, feel refreshed and then go back to school. Did any of you guys like experience any like hardships or like stress through school and just in your mental health in general?
I think school is hard right now because there's less of a social aspects, and it's really hard to like be able to communicate with people outside of the curriculum, and that's really different from anything I've experienced during school and really ever. And I think in addition to that, there's just a lot of like social issues even outside of school. Everyone has their own personal issues, and it is getting increasingly important to be able to like detach and kind of like refocus and recenter on something that can better your emotional or mental health.
I know that for me, I was really struggling at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, I struggle a lot with depression, and like I was kind of going through like kind of a bad spout even before like the shutdown. But it honestly just made it like a whole lot worse. Like I was like barely eating, and like I would just sleep all day and wake up at like 2 to like do my schoolwork and then like go back to bed. And then I don't know, my boyfriend broke up with me, and like that really sucked and made me even more depressed, and I don't know. But I started going to therapy online, and that was really helpful. And I think that like I was kind of the opposite. I know that a lot of people have like struggled with like online school and they don't really like the way that it's structured, but I am like a very social person at school and I get distracted sometimes. And so I actually kind of like the way that like online learning is structured because everything's in one place, and like especially with like asynchronous learning, like you can kind of go at your own pace, I guess. So I don't know. My grades have been really good since the pandemic, but like I know that that's not the case for everyone. So I guess like I think the pandemic kind of like reveals like what kind of learners we are and like what kind of environments we really work best in. So it's different for everybody. Does anyone else like what specifically do you like or like not like about like online learning?
Well, I feel like for me, like even before the pandemic, kind of like Sophie, I was always like very hard on myself about my grades and always like trying to be the best. And if I like failed, I like was really hard on myself. So for me personally, when we went into like quarantine, I was like started to learn more about myself and I started like treating myself better. So I felt like more connected with myself because of that. Because like in our first month of quarantine, my school we did like the assignments weren't necessarily required, so I kind of like focused on the things that made me happy and like not putting myself comparing myself based on like what my grades were or like how well I did on something. So I feel like that like part of the pandemic really helped me as a person. But as for like whether or not I like myself as like during online school versus like actual school, I feel like it didn't impact me as much as I thought it would. Although like there are obviously some classes I prefer to do online just because I learned better that way for those classes. But in certain cases, like working by myself, I feel like it's also helped me learn the content better at my own pace, kind of what like Sophie said. But there are certain cases where I'd like to like be in a classroom with a teacher where they can like be by my side and like guide me as I'm working. And as for like socially, like with friends, it has been hard like not being able to see friends, especially because I've gotten like out of touch with friends since the pandemic too. So that has been hard. But I feel like ever since I started to like learn more about myself as a person, like during quarantine, that has helped a lot with my mental health and with school.
Yeah, I agree with her as well that like definitely I suffer from anxiety and depression as well. and I did have I'm still recovering from an eating disorder, but I'm fine. But like I think definitely that it made like depression a whole lot worse, because I am, if you don't already know, I'm a very extroverted person. So I really do enjoy talking to people, and I get my energy that way. If I'm alone, I tend to get I get lonely very easily. So I think it's definitely just sort of the isolation during the pandemic really sucked. And my grades, they weren't that great either, and I do better if I'm in person with some classes, and some classes I enjoy doing them sort of virtually just because I do better that way. Definitely throughout the pandemic I've gotten better. I just think that everything being virtual is a little harder because you can't, I get most of my communication through school, and you can't really talk to acquaintances and stuff like that because you mostly just talk to them through school and not through like text or anything like that. So you wouldn't be able to talk to them. But I feel like I definitely learned a lot about myself and about sort of who I am as a person, and I got to meet all these lovely people. So if I didn't the pandemic wasn't here, I probably wouldn't have met you all. So I'm really grateful for that. And I think definitely over time, I've gotten better and I've started putting myself out there. So I just think definitely, I think you just got to learn to be able to take care of yourself without anybody else's help. And I think sometimes you just have to be your own friend, you know? So, but yeah.
That's true. I think like Amelia and Rain were both saying like this has been a very unique experience, and like I think it's like kind of revealed like a lot about ourselves. Like we have to spend a lot of time with ourselves now, and like I don't know, it's weird, and like all of the scary parts that you don't like sometimes kind of come out, and you're like forced to face them, and that's scary sometimes. And but I don't know. I think it definitely is hard not going to school, like seeing people. Like I know that I've had trouble like making new friends like since like the beginning of the pandemic, but I've tried to be outgoing about that. Like I don't know. I'll like send people like an email or like a Hangouts invite and be like, "Hey, like if I like see someone in class or something and it's weird, can we just talk about cameras for a second?" And how like no shade on anyone who doesn't have their camera on right now, because like I understand that everyone's situation is different, but like literally no one has their camera on in class anymore, and it's so sad. Like it just makes me so depressed that like you can't like see anyone, and like it's really weird. It's a weird situation.
Do you guys think like cameras being on is like an invasion of like privacy, or do you enjoy them or would you rather them be on?
I feel like in terms of like being in class, I feel like it's important for not for me, but more for like my teachers, because like there's instances like today my internet was like really bad and my teachers were literally like sending me chats like, turn off your camera, we can't understand what you're saying, you sound like a robot. And so there's times like that where it's like you said, we don't know everyone's situation, but there's times where I'll be in class and I will be the only one with my camera on, and it's like 20 people and there's no one else there. And I'm like, do you guys not feel bad? Like, I feel so bad. Like, it seems like the teacher's like talking to themselves, and then I'm like the only one responding. And I'm like, we're having our own little conversation right now for like literally 2 hours of class. So I feel like cameras are low-key important, but not even that, just participation in general. Because in the class I'm talking about, like psychology, it's like genuinely 4 people who talk on a regular, like steady basis. And like, I'll be talking to people like by name and they just truly just like will not respond, like will not unmute to respond to me, will not turn on the camera to respond to me. And it's just like, there's this disconnect that happens now. And like, it comes off real rude sometimes when it's just like someone just like blatantly not responding to you consistently. But it's like, I feel like it just like school lacks that connection now. So yeah, I could talk forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about like I don't think teachers should necessarily require everyone to have their cameras on because again, like some people are like in places where like they can't or there's like distracting things going on in the background, but like I would feel I feel like my class experience would be better if like more people did, like or like at least I am usually more inclined to have my camera on when other people do, just because like I feel weird like being like the only person in the class who has it on. Like it's just kind of like it's just weird and I don't know. But yeah, it is hard to talk to people. One of the things that I do like about online learning though is that like that annoying kid who like talks all the time, like they have to like raise their hand or like they can't just like say whatever. I don't know, I guess I kind of like that, but yeah, the conversations are weird sometimes and like it's awkward too because everyone's internet is bad at some point and there's like awkward pauses and everyone's like trying to talk over each other and I don't know, it's a mess. So I miss real school. Like I don't know. I think one of the things that is important is like unstructured like social time, like especially in like high school because you're just kind of trying to figure things out and it gives you an opportunity to like meet new people or just to talk about random stuff like I don't know, grass or like things that you're interested in. And I don't know why I said grass. That's really random. but like just like I think like small talk is like kind of important in like developing like your own social skills and we don't really have any like unstructured social time. I guess sometimes like if you get put in a breakout room with like your friend or something, but like there's not really as many like in between conversations, which I think will kind of I don't know. I kind of miss that part.
Yeah, I think when my Wi-Fi allows, like I like have to turn on my camera so that I can like it's a way of like holding myself accountable. It like helps me make sure that like I'm engaged in what's happening. It's odd. Sometimes it's gotten to the point where like in the morning if you log on, right? And I feel like there's a lot less people with their cameras on in the morning because they're just kind of, PJs, it's all good. Maybe not even out of bed. But like I feel like it's really weird because my teachers are like super outgoing and so they're like, hey Tess, nice to see you, and then it's like the only one and then it like feels like kind of passive aggressive and then I'm like ah I don't know, that's my take, I guess. I think that I'm really grateful that during this time I've like a fourth year student at the school that I'm at, well maybe like a seventh year student at the school that I'm at technically, but so like I think that that's definitely an advantage because even when people don't have cameras on, and also I go to a relatively small school compared to like, I don't know, other schools in the area, Huron, Lincoln. So that I'm definitely really grateful for because I think it's easier to feel my classmates' energies and like feel all of their personalities because I've been with them for longer. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like people who like even just at like Y High and like YMO, like people like sixth graders or like ninth grade, like freshmen, like I think they have it really, really hard just because they don't know anyone and like it's weird like making friends online or like getting to talk to people. Like it just I don't know. I feel for them. Some people are saying some stuff in the chat. Kaden says it's socially awkward, but having a camera on does bring pros and cons. I believe that having cameras on is like in between and definitely not since they can help us pay attention because we are getting watched, which yeah, like again being like held accountable. But yeah, I guess seeing people's reactions can be kind of distracting sometimes or like I'll like turn my camera on. Like I work a lot in like my kitchen. Like recently I've started like just coming to my room when like people are doing stuff in the kitchen. But like my dad will be like kind of like going around making stuff, and like I like can't unmute because it's like running the blender and like things, and I don't know. So sometimes there's just other stuff going on, you know. But yeah, but yeah, I feel like really bad for like new high school or like middle school students coming in, especially like going back to like kind of like the topic of like mental health. I feel like it's kind of been harder to like reach out to or like talk to like counselors lately, because like at least at my school you can kind of just like pop into the counselor's office or like just like schedule something or just talk to someone like if you have a conflict or something. But um I know that it can be like really intimidating for a lot of people to like even just to like write an email to a teacher or a counselor, and like I don't think that there necessarily has to be anything wrong or like a direct problem for you to talk to a counselor. But from my understanding though, like a lot of the like new middle school and like high school students haven't, I don't know, like they don't have that rapport, or like there's not like an existing relationship with any of the counselors. So it's kind of weird, and I feel like they're at a disadvantage. But yeah.
Personally, like if we were in person, we would, as you were saying, Sophie, that we would just sort of just pop in and they'd sort of just like email or text our teacher letting them know that we're with them, and we just talk to them and we talk about really anything. And I think they were definitely really helpful and they were really open-minded. These days sort of what we do is we schedule an appointment with them and they have them on during certain months when they're available. I think that's super hard though, because I have a really good relationship with my counselor and we don't get to talk that often because I already have a separate therapist, and then I also have a mentor. So just sort of the thing is like I have like a full schedule like all week. If I was to be if it was like everything was to be during school, then I'd be able to pop in during school. But like now everything's sort of just either after school or during lunch, and I'm busy both times, you know? So like it's definitely a little complicated. I don't know about anybody else, but I think like it's definitely like affected sort of my experience during school.
Same as a senior, it's like I feel like it's an important time to be meeting with counselors and to be like organizing life and stuff. And when I tell you, I have not seen my counselor all year, like not one time at all whatsoever. Not an email, like apps, like barely anything. And that's like taboo for high school because you're supposed to be able to like go see your resources and stuff. So it is really strange.
Yeah, I used to meet with my counselor regularly. I meet with one of like the sort of advisory people like once a week, and we just talk about random stuff. I don't know. I see a therapist through like my doctor's office like on a allegedly like a weekly basis, not all the time. But I feel like I wish that the counselors at like my school at least like I bet they're probably really, really busy and like navigating a lot of things online, but like it would be nice if like they were more accessible, or like we have like a dean email that goes out at our school like every week, and even if they just added something at the bottom that was like sign up for a slot to like talk to like Mr. Nemo or Miss Cheney or something, like I feel like that would make me like more inclined to like actually reach out and like talk to someone.
I talked to my counselor only about school. I feel like I'm like, it takes me a while to get comfortable with people, and like I'm not the like, I don't like jump at warming up very much. Like you really have to like get me to talk. I mean, to adults, I feel like when it's like kids, you'll know my whole life story in 5 minutes. But like to like school officials and adults and stuff, it's like harder for me to open up. So we did talk about school and important stuff, but in terms of like personal life stuff, no.
I built up like a really good relationship with like my counselor from last year. I don't even think that she was like the counselor that was supposed to be like the counselor for my grade. I just like really liked her, and so I talked to her all the time. Um, I don't know. I like lived with my mom until I was 14 and like kind of had like a traumatic childhood, and so it's important for me to get to talk about that from time to time with somebody. Um, so I do go to the counselors a lot just because I have like a lot of like kind of mental health things that I need help managing. I think like at the beginning of the year, I met with the junior, like the 11th grade counselor, like Mr. Nemo, who's pretty cool. And we would talk like every week just to have like, it was like an academic check in, but we stopped having them because like there wasn't really anything to like talk about necessarily. So I don't really like do that anymore because I don't really need it.
Yeah, I agreed with like Amelia and Talia. I definitely have a hard time like opening up to adults. So like it's like it takes a little bit of time, probably just like 2 to 3 weeks of talking, and then I'll probably open up.
Yeah, like I even for me, like I'm like kind of really an introverted person. So like I guess like it takes me like a good couple months to just like, get comfortable with like a group of people and stuff. Like if it's like people I don't really know, like I'm like really quiet, but like if it's like friends or like people in my school, my teachers, like, I'm like really talkative.
I would like self identify as like an oversharer. Like I don't know what it is, but like I find it like really easy to talk to adults just because like I don't know, but that's just somehow like easier for me, and like I have like trouble making friends. Like I just for whatever reason like sometimes I like don't get along with like other girls, and like that's like kind of like a point of like trouble for me or something weird like that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just really like talking about myself, so it's like really easy for me to just like talk to like a therapist for like hours because, I don't know. I'm a, the IB learner profile trait that I would like identify with would probably be like reflective, like, so I don't know. Oh, are any of you guys like recording any of like just your experiences, like even in the pandemic or just what it's like for like remote learning, or like are you like keeping a journal like at all?
I don't. I feel like it's super important too right now because this is such a like historic time. And it's like I feel like I should be writing down every day. Like they're gonna find this in 100 years and be like, this is gold. But I like just don't for some reason. I love taking pictures when I can remember to, and like I have a film camera, so it's fun to like take pictures and then like produce the film and be like, I remember that. But I don't have a journal. I really should though.
Yeah, I have a journal, and I also like I don't really journal that often. It's technically considered a bullet journal, so it's like a planner and a journal at the same time, just like mushed together. And but like and I create it myself. So like you have just an empty notebook and you sort of just like get real creative with it. And I really do enjoy it. But yeah, I don't exactly journal that often. I used to have a journal, and it still lasted like 3 years. That's how much I've been like that's how little I've been journaling like every year. It's lasted only 3 years. So like and it still has like 50 empty pages. So but yeah, I actually write songs. So I sing and I write my own songs. Just a way to just like let my feelings out without having to literally straight up say it, so just like I think it definitely helped me just to let things go, and like my songs definitely they're like really deep, so like I don't exactly re-sing them again just because they bring just a lot of feelings back that I don't want to repeat, but yeah, so write songs and sort of bullet journal. Well, journal, but mostly bullet journal.
Yeah, for me, like I don't really journal at all. Like, I mean, as a kid, I think like a couple times, like our teacher, like our English teacher, she made us do like this journal thingy, and like, yeah, so then I had to do it for that, and I'm kind of glad I did it. But yeah, like I have this really old thing, like it's like my book about me. It's like so, it's like from like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, but like I I barely did it. Like I only did a couple of pages. I wish I did more, but I mean, I know my sister like she told me that she like draft like sent a few like emails to her like future self. So like they're scheduled to send in like, 3 or 4 years to now. And I'm like, I should do that. And like literally like 2 months ago, I'm like, I sat down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And like I started typing and typing. And like a couple days ago, I found it in drafts and I'm like, what is this? And I didn't even finish it. And like, yeah, but I mean, honestly, I feel like it's like really important and it's like really cool to look back at your like self and how much you changed over the years. Like, I know like most people like they change like a lot during their lifetime. So it's like really cool to see.
Yeah, for me, when I was younger, I would journal a whole lot. Um, and then journaling, right? People journal, to kind of get their thoughts straight and feel a little bit better about things that are going on. And I started to get like almost this like, I don't know, like this accompanying anxiety with it. Because if like, I don't know, for example, if I was recording like what had happened that day and it's supposed to go A, B, C, D, E. And I would go like A, C, D, E, O. And then I'd like make a footnote for B and be like, actually, I forgot. And then it would like really tense me out. I don't know why. And I talked about it finally with my therapist last week. She was like, how often do you journal? And I told her about this and I was like, and I prefaced it kind of like how I did right now. I was like, it's kind of weird, sorry. And she was like, no, that like actually makes a lot of sense. Like when we hold ourselves to like really high expectations, right? That like if some things are out of order, that's kind of like on par with other things that make you anxious. And I was like, oh my goodness, whoa. Um, so I don't know, it's really odd, but I've gotten slightly better at it. I'd like do it a little differently now. So like I'll do it to unwind like the things that I'm thinking about, just to like have it in front of me so that I don't know, I guess if I think about the way that my mind works, if it's like a circle, right, and like some anxious thought can like sneak into the circle and then that like I see it on rotation with everything else that I want to think out, and then it starts to kind of like break down all logic. So I've found it really helpful to, I guess, like map out and just like keep hold of the facts, I guess. And I know that that has helped me a lot with my anxiety around like, I don't know, school and like friends and like everything we've been talking about, because I don't know, just because we've all been kind of funky. So yeah.
I feel like my experience with journaling, like when I was a kid, I used to like do it more often than I would now, because like I actually don't do it now, to be honest. I really wanted to, but I just like never got around to it because like at some point, I think it was like earlier on in the pandemic or like towards the end of middle school, I wanted to like continue doing it again because I like going back and thinking about how I've grown as a person. But I felt like after a certain period of time, which was actually only a few days, it felt like kind of like a chore to do it like at the end of the day, mostly because now I have to write everything like after everything I went through like the whole day, now I have to write about it. So I didn't feel like as enjoyable as it like should be or could have been. So I didn't really like enjoy it or have fun with it as much as I would have liked. So I kind of stopped. But I feel like the the reason why I felt that way is because I felt like, kind of like with Tess, I felt so pressured to make sure like I had everything written down, and like if I missed something, it would feel like wrong, or then I'm just gonna forget about it, and then it's never gonna appear in my mind again, even though if something like going to a grocery store isn't mentioned, wouldn't be that significant in writing. But that's how I felt at the moment. But I feel like even with like journaling, like now, especially during the pandemic, it would help a lot with like focusing all my thoughts in one area, and just trying to like compose of everything that's going on, even if I can't make sense of it myself. So I think journaling could help a lot with that too.
Yeah, I used to feel like I read my sister's journal once because I'm Snoopy, and but this was like a long time ago when she was like really little, and like she would like write down like literally everything that happened. Like today we went to the store, and like today like I'm wearing a blue shirt, and like I like never really approached journaling like that. I kind of just like, I mean, I guess I kind of used to, but I really only like write stuff down that's like important, and like I think that it helps me work out my own thoughts. And sometimes I try to make things like funny, sort of. So like when I go back and read it, I'll be like, oh, haha, or like just kind of like making fun of or like bringing light to like maybe dark situations that aren't like inherently funny or something. I'm also a singer songwriter. I play like 8 different instruments, but like mainly guitar, and like I write my own songs and I record them and stuff, and that has definitely been helpful in the wake of the pandemic. I'm also in orchestra, but like I have like not played my cello like at all basically. Like it's so funny because like because my music teacher made me like first chair, like principal player or something of like the cello section. He's like, "You're so good, like here, like you be the leader," and I'm like, okay." But like I literally like I just don't practice. Oh, Tess, you like my songs? Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I love songwriting, and if not like to like plug myself, I don't have like any social media or anything like that, but if you guys ever want to like hear some of them, like I could email them to you if you want. Just give me your email if you want that. I don't know.
We should do a singing session.
So we should have like a concert. That would be so fun.
That would be so fun. We should do that one time, okay, Jody?
I like.
Wait, say it again. I walked away for a second.
We're gonna do a singing like concert. Me and Sophie, we're just gonna sing our songs and we're just gonna like let it out. We're gonna have a whole concert.
Are you both? Do you perform yours too, Reem? Like, do you play an instrument or just sing?
Yeah, I actually do sing, but I know that's a little off topic, but Sophie said she songwrote, and I was like, yes, somebody else too. So that's fun.
One of the things that normally, like if we weren't in a pandemic, so like I'm a competitive swimmer, and competitive swimming takes up a lot of time. Like just like doing a sport in general is like really high maintenance, and like I have like practice like every day after school normally, and like I'm part of like USA swimming, and so we have these like ridiculously long meets every weekend that are like literally the whole weekend. But obviously all of that stuff has been canceled because of like COVID, and I've just had like a lot more time to just do things that I enjoy. Not like I don't like swimming, but like sometimes like I just haven't had time to like write or like draw or like really like play my guitar. But like I don't know, I've just had a chance to like record stuff and do a lot more songwriting than I normally would do. And I don't know, like secret silver lining of like the pandemic is having more time to just kind of focus on your hobbies.
Like I remember, like I feel like even though I guess I've gotten like a lot more busier during the pandemic, like I still feel like I have more time because like that like commute time, like this time spent driving, like I remember like in middle school, like I did competitive swimming for like 2 years. I don't do it anymore, but yeah, like I remember I would have school, and then afterwards I would have basketball practice, and then straight from basketball practice I had to go to karate, and then like that would be like on one like Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays like right after school, because like the place I went for swimming was like almost like 40 minutes away. So like the driving time took so long, and then like we would spend like an hour and a half there. So like so much time got like took off like from just driving.
I get that. On like low key, like, oh my gosh. I seriously, I was like I get that so bad. Like, so on Mondays and then on Thursdays I had boxing, and then I had like loads of homework. So like I'd have to sort of like make a plan on which homework I was gonna do. And then like try to figure out which ones I'm able to do that day. And then right after like boxing practice, I'd have to go to a soccer practice, and then I'd get home, and then like I'd have to eat and do my chores and all that regular like stuff, and then I'd do my homework, right? And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I was part of like a school group, sort of. Yeah, no, never mind. Student council. There you go. And we would meet like during school, like that was my advisory, and then we'd also meet like after school for different events. And then like Friday was my only free day, like my only free day. So that was when I finished all my schoolwork. So like that's so relatable. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, Aisha, you know what? Kudos to you. You're doing so well.
Thank you. You are too.
And you know something else? You, yes, you out there, people listening, are also doing so well. And this basically concludes our first episode of Tag You're It. If you want to follow us in the meantime, you can check us out at Ypsi Library Teens on Instagram. And if you'd be interested in joining these discussions, we would love to have you. The Teen Advisory Group meets every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. To get access to that Zoom link, you can email kscott@ypsilibrary.org. That's KSCOTT@ypsilibrary.org. Until next time, take care.